What if the key to a better retirement isn't just about where you go, but about who you are? Every year, thousands of people leave behind their home countries after retirement, not because they're running away, but because they're finally ready to live life on their own terms. But here's something nobody tells you. Not everyone thrives in the same places. Where you go should match who you are, your rhythm, your values, your pace. In this video, we'll break down the 3 types of people who thrive when they retire abroad and help you figure out which type you might be. And most importantly, where you belong. Let's dive in. Some people don't dream of luxury. They dream of space, of peace, of silence. Not loneliness, but the kind that feels like a warm cup of tea and a quiet morning breeze. These are the Simplifiers. They've had their years of hustle. They built careers, raised families, paid mortgages, showed up every day, even when it was hard. But somewhere along the way, they lost something. Not money, not status. They lost time. Time for themselves. Time to breathe. Time to do absolutely nothing and not feel guilty about it. Now they don't want noise anymore. They want a slower pace, a smaller home, a shorter to-do list. They want to hear birds in the morning, not traffic. They want markets instead of supermarkets, neighbors who wave, streets they can walk. I used to spend 2 hours a day commuting. Now I walk 10 minutes for fresh bread and say hello to the same smiling vendor every morning. They're not escaping. They're choosing. Choosing simplicity over stress. Choosing enough over excess. Choosing presence over pressure. Where Simplifiers thrive. 1. Vietnam, places like Dalat with its cool air and pine forests, or Hoi An with lanterns dancing over rivers at dusk, feel like poetry come to life. Life here is quiet but rich in the ways that truly matter. You can live on very little, but feel like you have so much. An apartment with a garden, a morning cafe, a market full of color and kindness. I used to schedule everything. Now I let the day decide for me. 2. Ecuador, in towns like Cuenca, where the air is crisp and the streets feel like they've whispered centuries of stories. You don't need a car. You don't need a wardrobe full of designer clothes. You need a good book, a good walk, and good people. Ecuador welcomes those who want less, but feel more. 3. Philippines. In cities like Dumaguete, you wake up with the sound of waves nearby. You buy fruit from a boat that docks beside your street. You sit, you breathe, you smile, and you realize this is what you were looking for all along. What Simplifiers discover? They don't just spend less, they worry less. They discover that living with less doesn't mean missing out. It means being more present. They stop measuring life by what they own and start feeling life in the sunlight on their skin, the smell of bread in the market, the kindness of a stranger offering them directions in a language they're just learning. For some, retirement doesn't mean retreat. It means rediscovery through people. These are the connectors. They come alive in conversation. They find energy in community. And for them, the worst part of growing older isn't physical, it's emotional disconnection. Back home, their world started shrinking. Old friends moved away. Kids got busy. Neighborhoods changed. And suddenly, they found themselves surrounded by people, yet feeling invisible. What they crave isn't just affordable rent or nice weather. They crave belonging. I didn't want to fade away. I wanted to find a place where people still talked, still gathered, still laughed at the little things. Connectors seek out places where connection happens naturally, where it's okay to start a conversation with a stranger, where cafes are made for lingering, where events, language groups, walking clubs, and charity dinners pull people together. They want to give and receive, to share knowledge, stories, smiles, even in broken second languages. Where connectors thrive. 1. Mexico. In places like Ajijic or San Miguel de Allende, the community is the heart of everything. Expats gather not just to escape, but to engage. Yoga in the plaza, potlucks on rooftop terraces, and a culture that celebrates connection, whether through food, festivals, or just saying hello. 2. Portugal. In cities like Faro, Cascais, or Tavira, the pace is relaxed and people make time for each other. Markets are lively, conversations are easy, and locals are warm. You don't feel like a foreigner. You feel like a guest, and then a friend. 3. Malaysia. In multicultural cities like Penang, you'll find people of all backgrounds, religions, and languages living side by side. There's openness, curiosity, respect. It's perfect for people who want to talk, learn, and never stop growing through connection. What connectors discover? They weren't just lonely, they were disconnected from meaning. But in these new communities, they find their spark again, hosting dinners, joining local causes, helping others, being helped. For the first time in years, I feel like I matter again. And then there are the wild ones, the ones who spent their lives doing what was expected, only to reach retirement and whisper, "Now it's my turn." These are the adventurers. They don't want comfort, they want curiosity. They don't need plans, they need possibilities. They don't fear the unknown, they crave it. I didn't retire because I was tired. I retired because I was finally free. They try new foods, new languages, new rules of living. They make mistakes and laugh at them. They get lost and find magic. They're not trying to find home. They're trying to discover who they are when everything familiar is gone. Where adventurers thrive. 1. Georgia Tbilisi is messy, beautiful, ancient, and electric. You walk past stone churches, modern cafes, artists, grandmothers selling walnuts on the street. It's Europe, but off the script. 2. Colombia Medellin is green, innovative, full of art and music and reinvention. You'll meet people from every walk of life and feel the pulse of a city that refuses to stand still. 3. Thailand. Chiang Mai gives you temples. Bangkok gives you chaos. The islands give you peace. You choose your adventure, and the locals welcome you with grace. What adventurers discover? That fear and freedom often walk hand in hand. But once you take the leap, life becomes a story worth telling, again and again. For the first time in my life, I feel young again. So, which one are you? Are you a simplifier searching for quiet, a connector craving community, an adventurer chasing new stories? There's no right answer, only your answer. But when you match who you are with where you live, you don't just move, you come alive. Let us know in the comments, which type are you? And where do you see yourself thriving? Subscribe to TripLife for more stories, more guides, and more places to feel at home, anywhere in the world. Because the best part of your life might just begin somewhere new.